Alrighty, what's up everybody? Peter Joseph here for another video right here on the Peter Joseph channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down there in the description box below, and don't forget to hit that bell to turn on all notifications so you don't miss another video. And share the video all over the internet, and follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And all that good stuff. Thank you for your support and all that good shit. That's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this late Tuesday night, April the 25th, 2023, if you're watching this from somewhere else, April the 26th, 2023. I would have went live with this, but, you know, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I had other things to do, if you know what I mean. Things to do, and I just got lazy, and you know, but so I'm going to give you an abbreviated NXT Spring Breakin' 2 review. Alright, so NXT tonight delivered their second annual Spring Breakin' event from the Capitol Wrestling Center at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida. And it was a pretty decent show. We had Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship. We had Indi defend her women's title against Roxy and Boogie Hogan, Tiffany Stratton. And a couple other good matches on the card, and some weird segments here and there. But overall, the show was decent, not great, but still, it is what it is. Alright, so as always, our commentary team of Vic Joseph, the man with the creepy jacket, and the man who smokes more bowls of weed than what's her name? Then Thea Hale and Tony Khan combined. That's Booker T, sucker. So we get that. Alright, so we open the show with a video of a picnic from earlier in the day with the NXT roster playing around, having a good old time. We see Ivy Nile win an arm wrestling contest. I forget against who. It probably was Miles Bourne, I think it was. And Judas Creed wonders who's going to win the NXT Championship. Most likely, Mello. Meanwhile, Javier Bornal, or Bornat, starts talking and jibber-jabbering, and then he pisses off Dabocado for some odd reason. And then the ladies, we have Lash Legend, get shit done. We haven't seen her in a while. Jakara and a couple other lovely ladies talking about the mixed tag team match with Jensen and Kiana James against Briggs and Fallon Henley. To the Don Henley, don't call it Don Henley. Until Javi and Dabocado were running through the park, all the way to the park. And then we see Nathan Frazier, or Ben Frazier, teaching Wendy Choo-Choo, I thought she was injured, about how to play cornhole, and she obviously gets the hang of it, and Wendy says maybe Mr. Chase, Andre Chase, has a chance against Braun Breaker, and everybody's like, nah, we got that. And then the women's tag team champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, are at a fountain, kind of doing their witchcraft, because they're the witches of NXT. And they talk about how diluted the women's division is. That's true. Including Indi Hartwell defending against Roxy and Tiffany Stratton. Alba Fire says she senses the title may be slipping away. And then Isla asks the universe to send a sign. And that sign was Javier Bornal running through the park and then falling into the fountain and looking like a jackass. So that was what it was. And that's it. Alright, there we go inside the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. And we start the show off with the first match of the night, the first ever trunk match, where you had to put your opponents inside the back of a car, shut the trunk, and then you win the match. So basically, like a coffin match, but instead of the coffin, it's basically the trunk of a car. So anyway, we had the family with, hey, my cousin, get in here, my cousin, how you doing? My cousin Tony D'Angelo and Channing Lorenzo Stacks. They take it on the Yes Boys. Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. And possibly their last match in NXT. This was pretty good, you know. Tony D and Stacks brought out the weapons to start. A lot of weapon shots, chairs galore, chair shots. They kind of went back and forth. They even Tony and Stacks pulled out a ladder. They pulled out a table. They kind of go backstage where the old school car was. Nice car, by the way. And then they go back to the ring for some beat downs. Then they finally go to the back where the car is. And I think it was Kit Wilson was in the car. And then he gets out of the trunk and he puts Stacks in the trunk. And he tried to put Tony D in the trunk. But Pretty Deadly tried to put Tony D in the trunk. And then Stacks with the fire extinguisher in the face. And then they put Elton Prince to a table. And then they put Pretty Deadly in the back of a trunk. They shut it. And they win the match in 12 and a half minutes. Match was pretty decent. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, they both of them get in the car. And they're going to really do what they say. And they're going to send Pretty Deadly up the river to SmackDown. That's where they're going to be drafted to. They're going to SmackDown. So that was the final time we're going to see Pretty Deadly in NXT. They swam with the fishes, and now they're on their way to Houston, Texas for SmackDown and the WWE Draft, Night 1. So we'll see what happens with the Yes Boys possibly on SmackDown if they get drafted, which they probably will. But we'll see what happens with that. Alright, there we see Tiffany Stratton, Bookie Hogan, arriving. She takes in a car. She looks very nice, looks hot. Takes shots at Roxy and Indi Hartwell, saying Indi's underdog story is boring. She says she has it. And she says, tonight it's Tiffy time. We'll see what happens with that. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to the locker. Well, we go to Chase U. And Mr. Chase looks troubled. And Duke kind of gives him a pep talk. Saying that it's time for action. And telling Mr. Chase that, he sent Chase U home and it's just them now because the hell is like nowhere to be found and she's kind of cuckoo. Braun is a dominant former NXT champion, but Mr. Chase has all the students, including himself, who believe in him. So Duke motivates him even more, and Andre Chase is like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna give him a Chase U size ass whooping. No. So I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. And then we go to match number 2, Andre Chase and Braun Breaker, which lasted 2 goddamn minutes. And Braun comes out, with his new heel persona, and basically beat the fuck out of Mr. Chase. Chase got a little bit of offense in, tries to go for the Chase U kicks. Braun catches him on the H, like the second one in, knocks him down, then he picks him up, hits that military press power slam. Then he locks Mr. Chase in the Steiner recliner. And then Mr. Chase just tapped out immediately. That was it. Bing, bang, boom, good night. So, kind of like almost a squash match for Braun. And I gave the match 2.5 out of 5 stars. So, R.I.P. Chase University. It's sad. Just sad. Let me move on. Alright, then we got a vignette on Carmelo Hayes, the man who don't miss when he shoots. Mello don't miss. So we got a nice little vignette about that, leading up to his match against Grayson Waller. Got that. I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to Mackenzie's and is backstage with Tony D and Stacks drove away. We see the Russian Ilya Dragunov walk in, and then Dominic Dijak comes out of nowhere, kicks him right in the face, and then they brawl in the back, and then Dijak wins that, beats the fuck out of the Russian, slamming into ladders and doors, and then he tried to pull down the gate, and Ilya was like, no! And then Dijak was like, bitch, I want to shut this gate on you, and he kicked him in the stomach a few times, and even with Ilya still like this close to his stomach, Dijak's like, pulled down the gate right on freaking Ilya's like lower belly section, and like it was disgusting. Like he almost committed murder. And then he walks away, and then like referees and officials have to pick up the gate, and they finally pick up the gate, and Ilya's like, oh! Like his guts were like disintegrated all over the place. Jesus! So that feud's going to continue on. We'll see how Ilya's going to be feeling after tonight. You know, he's going to be pooping at he's not going to have a good time. I'll just say that. So we'll see what happens with Ilya. Hopefully, it's not too serious with the injuries. And we'll see what happens with that. We move on. So I gave that 3 out of 5 stars. All right, match number 3, we had the beautiful Irish lassie, Lyra Valkyria, taking on the resident former skater girl, Corey Jade. Pretty decent match. Kind of went back and forth. 8.5 minute match. Corey Jade gets the win after grabbing her lead pipe. Gets in the ring. The referee, I think saw it, and as he was trying to get it out, Lyra is playing it with a DDT. 1, 2, 3. Corey Jade gets the win. Big win for her. Sucks that Lyra didn't win. I wanted Lyra to win, but I like both of them. So in a way, Corey gets the win. Maybe we'll see her on the main roster. There's rumors that she might be going to the main roster, but we'll see what happens with that as we move on. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Corey Jade is your winner. All right, then we see Stacks and Tony D driving the car to the docks, celebrating their win. They said Stacks says, Tony says Stacks was unstoppable. And then we hear Pretty Deadly trying to get out of the trunk. So he stopped the car. Stacks goes to the back of the car and starts beating the crap out of Pretty Deadly some more. And Tony's like, hey, what was that? I don't know. Nothing. So they continue on to the docks. And then that's pretty much it. That was kind of funny. But it is what it is. So I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, match number 4. Match of the night for the NXT World Title. Carmelo Hayes taking on I Did It, Grayson Waller, who came out with a lovely lady who's a soccer player. I forgot her name. I think her name was... last name was Gentile. She's a soccer player, so she's looking hot and bringing out Shoey, Grayson Waller's golden shoe. And Mello comes out with his good buddy Trick Williams. So it was pretty good match. Waller used a chair, which Hayes caught, and while the referee was distracted, Waller cracks Trick Williams with the chair, and then Hayes angrily slides out, gets nailed by Waller. We go to picture-in-picture. And then after that, they were beating the crap out of each other, lots of near falls. Waller hits the rolling stunner. Mello rolled out of the ring to save his title. And then Waller's out now, clears the announce table, then he jumps off with the elbow drop through the announce table. That was crazy. And Waller knew he had to put Mello in the ring to cover him to get the title, but Mello kicked out at 2.999999995314559. So Waller gets Mello on his shoulders. Mello counts into a lung blower. And then Waller goes to the outside. Mello goes after him, gets hung on the ropes. And then Waller goes for the rolling stunner, but somehow his leg gave out. I don't know if that's an actual injury because he was holding it right after the match. His leg gives out. Melo goes up top, hits the rocker dropper. I forget what he calls that. Nothing. I think he calls it nothing but net. And he shoots, and as always, he don't miss. And Carmelo Hayes goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Carmelo Hayes retains the NXT title in 12 minutes. Obviously, because I think Grayson Waller is going to the main roster. I'd like to see him on Raw. Or SmackDown. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, thrust him into that mid-card title, like the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title. And just let him do his talk show, and it'll be great. But we'll see what happens on Friday night. Or Monday night. We'll see what happens with that. So, I give the match 4 out of 5 stars. It was great. Match of the night. Carmelo continues on his reign. So, after the match, he cuts a promo and basically calls out Braun Breaker for a rematch at NXT Battleground. Says, I don't care if you don't want it, because I want it. And he calls him to the ring. Braun's music plays, but he comes from behind, attacks both men. Spears Trick, then takes out Melo, puts Trick in the side of the recliner, and then Braun throws Melo to the outside. Then he spears Melo through the stage, and then we see the medics come out with a stretcher. They put Melo on the stretcher, then they take him to a local medical facility, which means hospital. So Melo might have broken ribs and broken everything. So we got that. So we're gonna see what happens next week with Braun, Trick Williams, and Melo. I think the match will be made official for Battleground on May the 28th. Same night as Double or Nothing. So that's one of the highlight matches for Battleground. I think Braun is going to lose. I think Melo's going to continue on as champ. Maybe we'll see Braun go up to the main roster. I mean, what else is he going to do down there? But it is what it is. So, I didn't rate that, so that was just the aftermath. So, that was kind of sick, but it is what it is. Alright, then we get a vignette promo from Roxy. Says she never wanted to be like girls who pretend to be like Disney princesses. Says, back in my day, I used to look up to Bailey. I'm like, that makes me feel old. Anyway, she says, I have a chance to win back my title, and I'm doing it for me. Well, I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for the girls who need to be seen, meaning the other girls who don't get TV time. In the back, and catering, pretty much. So it was a nice promo from Roxy, and I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get a long recap of the mixed tag team match being set up last week and everything that led up to this crap. We're going to get to that in a minute. But before that, we have Joe Coffey on the phone telling his brother Mark to pour him a nice tall glass of beer. Should have been Pepsi. But anyway, those Irish people, they love to drink their beer. I'm half Irish and I don't even drink beer. I don't consider myself Irish. I consider myself an FBI. That's full-blooded Italian, motherfuckers. But we move on. So he hangs up. Then Joe Gacy walks up with the beautiful Ava Raine, and he wants a fair tag team title match because the Dyad got screwed in that triple threat match. I think it was last week, or not last week. I think it was last week. So he says that he wants to face Joe Coffey next week, and if he wins, the Dyad get their rematch. And then Joe Coffey says, well, if you lose, the Dyad cannot get another title shot as long as they're the champs. So Joe agrees, and then he leaves, and then Joe Coffey agrees to the match. He leaves, and then Ava says, "Don't forget to get yours." And then Joe smiles and says, "In due time." What does that mean? Does that mean he's going after the North American title or maybe the world title again? Kind of left us with questions. We have that. So next week we have Joe Gacy versus Joe Coffey in a battle of the Joes. I'm not talking about coffee. Well, his last name is Joe Coffey, so it's kind of weird. Battle of the Joes in a coffee match. I don't know. I made that up. I don't know what it is. The Battle of the Joes. I just put it that way. So one Joe will win. Who will win? Probably Joe Coffey. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. They are supposed to be pushing the dyad. But maybe Joe Gacy wins and then they get that one-on-one match at Battleground. And as you know, if they do get it, the Grizzled Young Veterans will not win. Unless they finally pull the trigger and give the dyad the belts. I doubt it, but if they do win it, can you at least give them a couple month reign before you maybe ship them out? You release them, or they go up to the main roster and suck there too? You had a chance years ago with them, and then you're basically doing an Enzo and Cass situation. Get so close to the titles and you yank the rug out from them. For like the last 4 or 5 years that they've been in NXT. Sad. We move on with that. Alright, then we got a recap of Braun's attack. We see Carmelo getting sent to the local medical facility. We got that. I think this is match number 5. Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley. Don't call her the Dawn Henley. Taking on the lovely duo of Kiana James and her boy toy, Brooks Jensen, or as I call him, the rip-off Hunter Hearst Helmsley, circa 1995. Or a very bad porno star, a French porno star named Gaston. But anyway, wasn't anything to write home about. Kind of went back and forth, mixed tag team rules, of course. It was it went on for way too long, almost 12 minutes. Kiana tells Jensen to hit Fallon, but Josh broke it up. Brooks with Jensen with a spinning heel kick, both men are down, and then both men get back up. They trade shots. Briggs takes over, kicks Jensen in the head, picks Brooks up, who takes back over, comes off the ropes with a big-time lariat to the back of the head, like a northern lariat. And then a regular lariato. Then he hits a spinning brainbuster for a near fall. While outside the ring, Kiana knocks Fallon down, throws Jensen the purse. He goes to swing the purse, but it gets thrown. And Kiana falls off the apron. Uh-oh. And he fell off the apron. And she's like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" And Jensen turns around, and Briggs hits him with a big-time lariato, like a clothesline from hell. 1, 2, 3, Briggs and Fallon Henley get the win. Match wasn't anything to write home about. Gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. That's that. After the match, Jensen tells Kiana, "I'm sorry, at least we're still together." And Kiana goes to slap him because of what he did. And Jensen catches it. And he goes, "But I thought you loved me. I thought you sucked my dick last time, man." And she's like, "Well, I never said I did love you." And then she walks off, and Briggs is like, "Those damn women, man, that's all they want is dick. She used you." So basically, Kiana used Jensen for her own leverage. But we don't know if he actually, he got the first base. Did he get, around the bases? We don't know that. So Jensen turns around and he starts crying on Briggs' shoulder. They hug while Fallon Henley looks on. So I guess now they're broken up. What is going on in this situation here? And we still don't know who Sebastian is. Really, this freaking storyline needs to fucking end. There has to be some type of ending here. I mean, if this was the ending, thank the Lord. But if not, how many more months are we going to go with this crappy storyline? I mean, what's going to happen next week? Like Jensen's all broken up that, Kiana used him. I thought she loved me, she used me. And then he's going to say sorry to Fallon. It's like, "You were right. That she cheated on him." And then Kiana comes in with maybe Sebastian. It's like, "Oh, the Sebastian, some douchebag." No, but knowing WWE, how stupid they are, I bet you Sebastian's not even a real person. Maybe like Kiana's cat or something like that. "Yeah, we had fun all night and all morning." Maybe Sebastian's, a name for her. Pussy. I don't know. Not pussy cat. I don't know. It's just weird. This storyline is just weird, and it needs to freaking end. It's boggling my mind. Well, I feel bad for Jensen. Now he has to go back to the lotion. Oh, well. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, you got the first base, but you couldn't get that, You couldn't, go downtown, if you know what I mean. And then hit that home run and, fuck her in the ass and make her humble. You lost, dude. You lost on free pussy. How do you do that? Damn it, Jensen. Do I have to do everything for you? I mean, you finally kind of scored. You got the first base. But you couldn't seal the deal. Come on now. Come on now. If she's throwing her pussy out at you, come on. You don't give that up. I mean, nobody should give that up. If a woman gives you free pussy, you take it. I don't care if you're with somebody or you're not. You take it. Unless it's just your girlfriend. Then you don't give that up. But if you're single, you don't give that shit up. But if it's your significant other throwing the pussy at you, you better take that shit. I don't care how bad you are, man. Come on. You take that. But if you're with somebody and, you're with a significant other and then another woman throws her pussy at you, you don't touch the merchandise, dude. No. I don't care how hot she is. Just saying. And that's that. So we'll see what happens with this situation next week. Alright, then we go to the back with Mackenzie Mitchell and her guest Dragon Lee. Asked him about Noam Dar's match last week. He says he watched it was great, but he's more interested in the Heritage Cup. And he's going to make Noam Dar an offer for a match probably next week. And that's that. So I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get a video from Scripps acting like he's Batman. Talking about Axiom. Says next week everyone will learn which of them believes in themselves even more. What, Axiom is going to come out like the Flash? I mean, this is like a DC Marvel comic. This is weird. But anyway, move on. Alright, then we get a promo from Indi. Talk about that it wasn't luck for her winning at Stand and Deliver. And that's pretty much it, so get that. Alright, then we get footage from early in the day of someone grabbing the surfer girl, So Ruka, beating her up outside the performance center in the dreaded parking lot. No idea who it was, because they were obscured and the camera kept going back up and down. So we don't know who attacked her. We've been following along. It might be Zoe Stark. Might be. But we'll see what happens with that. We move on. Alright, then we go to the debut of a newcomer, Oba Femi, who takes on Oro Menza. So Oba versus Oro. And Oba won with a, what do you win with? With a big pop-up powerbomb for 1, 2, 3. So not a great debut for Oba. Kind of went a little bit too long, 3.5 minute squash. But it is what it is. Perfectly fine. Gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. And Oba looks almost the size of, not almost the size, he looks big. He's a big, beefy guy. And I said in Issa's chat that he looked like almost his brother. So you put you put Omos and Oba together, you got the Nigerian Nightmare. Nightmares, I should say. Put them in a tag team match. See who sucks both, Ugh. He looks so green in the ring. He's like, ugh. This is not a great squash match. But I digress. So we have to see what happens with him. Get that. Alright, and then Gigi Dolan grabbed Joseph's headset. Or something like that. Cuts a promo how JC talked trash about her family last week. He's like, I don't give a shit about my family. Next week, me and you are going to have a match, and my brother's going to come in to see me cave your face in. Ooh. But the question is, how old is her brother? Because I'm thinking like the Macho Man. that her brother is going to get with JC Jane. As long as he's of age. That's the question. We'll have to see what happens with that. So I give that 3 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we got Mackenzie Mitchell asking Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak about their attack on Wesley last week. Basically, Mr. Regal Jr. says he's going to break Wesley and win the North American title. Actually, I think it was Drew. One of them is going to beat the crap out of Wesley and win the North American title. We got that. I give that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then Tyler Bate walks with Wesley in the locker room, concerned about his, wearing himself out with these open challenges. Lee says he's good, but Bate suggests we meditate on some weed. And Wesley's like, I'm down for that. So we get that. So, looks like we're going to get a tag team match out of this. That's what I thought when we move on with that. So I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Then we get to the main event for the NXT Women's Championship. Indi Hartwell, Roxy, and Tiffany Stratton. It was what it was. A pretty sloppy match. There's botches galore by Roxy. Roxy almost broke her neck in this match off a Hurricane Run off the top after Indi hurt her ankle. It looked like a really bad landing after Tiffany came off with a moonsault on both of them, and Indi's like, ugh. I thought they were going to give it to Tiffany because the medics were there, but Tiffany and Roxy fought, and then Indi limps back to the ring and somehow wins the match after hitting the lariat to the back of the head on, I think it was, on Tiffany, which sucks. And we get all that. So, Indi Hartwell retains the NXT Women's Championship. Match is alright. 2.5 out of 5 stars. Really sloppy match. But, it is what it is. So, I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Indi wins, celebrates as Roxy and Tiffany look dejected and pissed off. Then we end the show with Tony D and Stacks at the river, saying they want to go for the tag team gold. If Gals isn't ready, they'll end up like Pretty Deadly, and then they leave, and that's pretty much it. So that's NXT Spring Breakin', everybody. It was a pretty decent show, and I gave it 6.25 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section, and that's pretty much it. Alright, I gotta go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night. Be safe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. But until next time, fuck you, man, and peace.